pretty fucking views. So I don't know if I put it on private or I'm just really that plugged in. I might be that just repulsive.
When you eat a jalapeno pepper, you should never ever touch your pecker. Oh, you couldn't pick a worse endeavor than the potty or some naughty pleasure. I was eating one of them old peppers when my bladder started feeling pressure.
I drink 30 Dr. Peppers for lunch, and my butt's like a rocket that's a waiting launch. If I keep drinking until afternoon, I'll be pissed at Dr. Pepper, so soaking these boots. Pepper me up, keep that river a-flowing. I drink that soda wherever that I'm going. It's a harmless addiction that I need in my bones, even if I always got kidney stones. So-called doctors all say I should kick it, but they don't know nothing, man. They could all stick it. They could pep in my step and a can in my hand. Only doctor I trust is the pepper man. For all I gotta need, a sweet Dr. Pepper brings a man to his knees. Of the Lord's good nectar, I'm a Dr. Pepper man. My farts go hiss like an ice cold can of that sweet Dr. Pepper. I'm a healthy man.
I never miss a single peppery
Drop when I'm chugging it down. I'm like a country mob.
in every single
Day I pass a kidney stone, but sweet Lord, I'm the king of that pepper throne. So just keep 'em coming. Yeah, pepper me up. No matter what I had, if it's never enough.
These so-called doctors all say I should kick it, but they don't know
Nothing, man, they
They
can
can all kiss it. There's a
pepper
pepper
my step.
and a kid in
My head, only doctor I trust is the pepper man.
Those 23 flavors are all I gotta need. The sweet Dr. Pepper brings a man
To
to
his knees,
first
and I'm hurting for an ice cold can.
good nectar. I'm a Dr. Pepper man. Lord's good nectar. I'm a Dr. Pepper man. Yeah, the Lord's good nectar. I'm a Dr. Pepper man.
This is my left. Ice cold kiss, piss. What they're gonna do when I get a little bit of that piss. The Lord Almighty, I let out a holler. Should've known better, not much of a scholar.
Walking through doorways and swinging them shut.
Cause I slammed that door on my country nut. I'm seeing stars, I'm losing air. Sound the alarm and sing me a chair. Caught between two different rooms. That door just squished my blue balloon. Oh, sweet Mary, I can't breathe. Just smashed my chili beans. I'm stuck between, can't go nowhere. I'm freaking out, I'm getting scared. What the gravy happened here? I just asked him to grab a beer. Now he's unconscious on the floor. There's his pickle in the door. I'm scared to ask if he's alright. His eyes are red and face is white. I think I'll just leave him alone. Oh, there's my beer, I'm going home. What incarnation got a call from the station?
Nation got a call from the station.
Said there was a certain system, but a certain separation. This boy better tighten his britches. There's a man with the dentures all caught in the hinges. I'm gonna need back of his pickle is filleted, and looking at the blue balloons looking filleted. Call up the doctor and bring me a beer. I've got my work cut out for me here. Bam. This is on a squish and run to the state penitentiary. Roll consequentially. Stop, son, so much time. Alright, his order's ready. I'm gonna hit mute. let them know that I'm on my way. Call you. Somebody coughing loud. Lemon did a what?
Hey, it's Lemon. Welcome to the Backlogs. Surprised to see me back in Dark Souls 3? Yeah, me too. The least played of all the Souls games that I own, outside of that which shall not be named, Dark Souls 3 is a weird game for me. It's mechanically sound. It's a dark Lemon. Welcome to the Backlogs. Surprised to see me back in Dark Souls 3? Yeah, me too. The least played of all the Souls games that I own, outside of that which shall not be named, Dark Souls 3 is a weird game for me. It's mechanically sound. It's a Dark Souls game. What's not to like? Well, I could talk about why I prefer the other Souls games over Dark Souls 3, or we could thank Matrix for dragging me kicking and screaming back into the game. Because today's challenge wasn't something I ever intended to do until about a month ago, when YouTuber Mancakes decided to make a video on the exact same thing. But don't worry, he knows. In fact, he outright challenged me and JK Leeds to do the same challenge, but better in his video. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Leeds is busy doing something else. In fact, you could say most of your favorite Souls challenge winners are. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. While I may not be very competitive, I'm apparently very easily provoked into doing challenges. So, that's fun to learn about myself. Anyway, now that Mancake's video has had some time to breathe, and I've had some time to remember how to play this game, today, we're gonna find out. Can you beat Dark Souls 3 with only candlesticks? So, let's go over the rules. We are only allowed to use candlestick weapons in this run. And, luck to have it, there are two in the game. The Cleric's Candlestick and the Scholar's Candlestick. One is a straight sword, while the other is a dagger. To get this weapon showcase started, I've gone ahead and given myself the Cleric's Candlestick. Normally, you have to kill the Deacons of the Deep and transpose their soul to get it. But that's over a third of the way into the game. And the Scholar's Candlestick is somehow even worse, with the earliest it's available being after Greyrat reaches Iritha. So yeah, Cleric it is. Slashy slashy, stab stab. I think what you meant to say was flashy flashy slab slab. No, what?
No.
What do you mean what? I mean what? Big thanks to Displate for sponsoring today's video. Are you looking to spice up your office? Need a little zest for your bathroom? Or maybe you just enjoy the feeling of cold, sleek metal on your fingers. Whatever the case, Displate has got you and your walls covered. With over 2 million artworks available in their catalog, you're bound to find something that suits your needs. The number of posters they have is actually overwhelming, ranging from video games, TV shows, movies, to the vast emptiness of space itself. And this is just what I wanted. There's so much more to find on their website, consisting of art from thousands of creators across the globe. But why metal posters? Well, it's simple, really, because it's cool. But also, because they'll never wrinkle, never rip, and can easily be displayed without requiring any tools or damage to your walls. Simply clean your wall beforehand, apply the sticker leaf, and put on the magnet.
That's
And
the
there you go.
permanent.
Infinite swappability of your posters, without ever having to scuff or tape up your walls ever again. What's more, Displate now offers texture posters, which means your posters now have light ridges and ripples to showcase the texture of the artwork. So, if any of that sounds good to you, use the discount link in the description. The discount is automatically applied at the checkout, or use my code BACKLOGS to unlock exclusive access to the best Displate deal before it's gone. Please get this off me. No. So while I beat Thunder over the head with something that ought not be a weapon, let's talk about it. It requires 8 strength, 12 dex, and 12 faith to use, which my sorcerer class doesn't exactly have at the moment, but it does have a special trait. It can cast spells. And despite the fact that I can't use the sword part of my sword effectively, my sorcerer can use the spell tool portion. So anyway, I started blasting. Bang! Bang! And for some reason, you guys all think I'm a hero, and I'll accept that responsibility. Now then, what else can the sword do? Well, not much, honestly. The first thing I need to do is get my faith up to 12, otherwise I won't even be able to swing the damn thing. Which is really weird, considering its damage doesn't even scale with faith. Just Dark Souls things, I guess. So, after grabbing the Silver Serpent Ring to help eliminate some grinding, and using the loose soul gift I took at the start of the game to give us the last few levels we need to actually use our weapon, we make our way onto the high wall of Lothric, and begin the run proper. Now, keen-eyed viewers are probably noticing 2 things right about now. First thing is that this weapon deals some magical damage alongside its physical damage. The second thing is that holy hell, this thing is terrible. All of the early game enemies have minimal defense against magic attacks, and it still takes me several swings to get the job done. But that's where its spell tool property takes the wheel. Because while the quote-unquote sword isn't very sharp, soul arrows are, which means killing everything around the first area is just a matter of patience and careful distancing. And for our efforts, some Titanite shards. But Lemon, I hear you whisper quietly, that's a boss weapon. Surely you need Titanite skills to upgrade it. Nope. Dark Souls 3. Basic Titanite only. Don't ask questions. Why are you still asking questions? Also, can we just pause to appreciate how much damage we got from upgrading our candlestick? I'm not very good at math, but it looks like we got 4 physical damage, 4 magical damage, and 0 spell buff increase. High grave death. Something tells me we're going to be seeing a lot of magic in this run, which is cool, since I don't think I've ever actually used magic in Dark Souls 3. Granted, this is probably the worst spell tool to use for such a build, but still. Nothing we can do about that, though. Gotta work with what we've got, which means it's time to push on to the next boss, the bestest boy, Vort. Unsurprisingly, using a candle against Vort doesn't exactly do a whole lot, dishing out about 40 damage per swing, while two-handed. In comparison, a single soul arrow does 58 damage. Again, not exactly top-tier spell tool, but 18 more damage is better than nothing. But, despite forgetting how to dodge during Vort's zoomies, I was able to flail wildly underneath him for an extended period of time, and eventually bring the big iron boy down. And it only gets worse from here. I desperately pump my souls into intelligence, since that's the only stat above descaling, and happily find out that this will not only improve my spell damage, but also appears to affect my weapon's magic damage properties as well. God, you know things are bad when we're celebrating 2 damage per level up. But don't worry, I have a plan. Shh, shut up, don't give away the game. I wake up Yoel and invite him back to base, collect all the tidbits around the undead settlement, backtrack a bit to free Greyrat from his prison cell so I can get the candlestick dagger later, say hi to Carl, he help anytime, and get to work on the fire demon mini-boss. Thankfully, Carl was willing to tank for me, so this mini-boss wasn't much of an issue. And for our trouble, fire gem we can't use. Yep, that's right, not even infusion can save us on this run. Neither the sword nor the dagger can be infused, which is a bummer, since I was really hoping to get some passive mana regeneration and better intelligence skill. Ah well, at least we have the Thornthly Ring. And with our build more or less unchanged, it's time for the next boss, the Curse-Rotted Greatwood. Weirdly, this boss was easier than the others up to this point. It's not that weird, since the gimmick makes it so that hitting a weak point several times dishes out 4 digits worth of damage. The hardest part of the fight was aiming my spells in phase 2. We could hack and slash at its front and googly arm, but why do that when Heavy Soul Arrow can chip away at the boss instead? Oh wait, never mind. Just use regular Soul Arrow instead. It only does 7 less damage, and costs 4 less mana to cast. Which doesn't sound like much, but when you have limited mana, that adds up pretty quick. And with a few well-placed shots from long range, and a bit of Dark Souls hitbox tomfoolery, that's all she wrote. Another boss down. Right along. As a reward for myself, I bought Magic Weapon to see if I could self-buff my candlestick, but no luck there. Then decided we might as well get our 5 free levels from Yoel now, and threw myself off of Firelink Shrine's highest level for a few minutes. Fun fact, throwing yourself back into the center of Firelink Shrine is faster than waiting for the loading screen fog to the outdoors. So, if you find yourself yearning to become dry jerky, you can do do it a full 5 minutes faster. You're welcome. We've obtained ample strength. I mean, we no longer have our stunning good looks, but it was worth it. Probably. Up next is the Road of Sacrifices. I take a slight detour to make sure I grab the Sage's Ring, which will increase my spellcasting speed. Then give the Farron's Keep Guardian, and we all know how that went. Huh. I guess I need to keep pumping intelligence, and I think I know just who to ask about that.
This is unexpected.
Yeah. Shut up and take my money.
Very well.
Stupid candlestick forcing me to work with Warbeck. I hope he died. Oh, hey, something I noticed. We've reached the point where I can't upgrade my weapon until I progress further into the game. But look at the spell buff. It looks like pumping intelligence is actually helping. Somehow. I begrudgingly buy Farron Flash Sword from Warbeck, since our damage is so bad that there's actually a chance it'll be stronger than hitting them with my actual sword. Buy Great Soul Arrow as a backup, in case that doesn't work out. Then go after the next boss, the Crystal Sage. So, remember how I said all the early game enemies all have minimal magical defense? Yeah, that's no longer the case now. In fact, the Sage's defense is so high that my Flash Sword does less damage than just bonking it with the candlestick itself. So that's upsetting. But hey, at least we were able to kill the Crystal Sage on the first try. That never happens. Oh, right. That never happens. No, what actually happened was an entire scroll's worth of failed attempts. Usually because I got smacked on the side of the head by a crystal spear trying to clear the Sage's clones. A problem I solved by buying Farron Dart. The absolute well in the game as far as damage goes. But what it lacks in damage, it makes up for in speed. And since the clones all have 1 HP, speed and range is all that matters. Now, if I could just get my fingers to remember how to play Dark Souls 3, we could move forward. Oh, how I hate you! Right. New plan. Let's take a detour into Farron Keep. Aside from visiting our good friend the Asylum Demon, there's something we desperately need for our build here. Large Titanite for our candlestick, and scrolls. Bringing these scrolls to Warbeck means he'll now teach me Pestilent Mist, which is going to be a game changer. And, since I've already got the souls, and I'm just going to lose them anyway, I might as well buy Soul Greatsword as well. So, that's the...
Thank you so much.
Exactly what it says on the tin. Simply spray mist out in front of you, then watch as your enemy's health bar melts before your very eyes. Because the Sage doesn't move all that much, Pestilent Mist was doing approximately 1,000
Oh, you got it. Thank you. I know. I got it.
cast, which is a pretty solid damage to mana ratio. As for Soul Greatsword, it's not as strong, but it gets the job done. And get the job done we do. Crystal Sage destroyed. There can only be one Highlander. I decided to get some practice with Pestilent Mist, and discovered a fun little combo in the process. Turns out it's hard to stop breathing in the mist, and you keep getting slapped back into it. The more you know. Sword, very good at catching enemies who try to roll around you. Works well. Moving along, I make my way to the keep, mowing down the giant. Go, then bump into Carl again.
Well, you look reasonably sane.
Carl, you forget to take your allergy meds again? You sound awful. Oh, right, it's Patches. Insatiable wench. Oh, man, that's good. I haven't been this insulted since someone called me a saucy harlot back at college. I decide to make up with Patches, despite his unkind words, and Patches decides to give me a 0% discount on Carl's armor. What a guy. But with that out of the way, we've reached the
What
deepest of
a
the
guy.
deep. Time to see if they're a pushover or a roadblock. You just never know. Well, turns out, the answer was pushover. Between my soul greatsword putting in some heavy work, and phase 2 being no different than the first due to the greatsword's extremely long range and wide swing, there's nothing really to say about this fight. First try, best try. You love to see it. Before we move on to the first Lord's Soul, we've got a quick stop to make. Turns out, I forgot some equipment in the swamp. Crown of Dusk and the lingering Dragon Crest ring. Crown of Dusk does what it's always done, boosting my magic damage while simultaneously lowering my magic defense, while the lingering Dragon Crest ring increases how long my spellbooks last. If I had any, so yeah, that ring might as well be garbage. But you know what isn't garbage? The Abyss Watchers fight. And surprisingly, our damage isn't very garbage either. I mean, it is, but the Abyss Watchers have like 0 poise, so we can actually get a whole stamina bar's worth of damage onto them each time we find an opening. Combine that with the chunky hits of our Great Soul Arrow, you've got the entirety of Phase 1 done in less than a minute. Phase 2, however, is a different story. For reasons I can't quite put my finger on, I just can't remember how to dodge the Abyss Watchers' attacks. This shouldn't be this hard. Why is this so hard? I just need a minute to breathe. Just give me a minute. 1 minute is all I ask. In the end, the answer is the same as it always is in Dark Souls 3.
Get
Just run away and blink from long range. And when that inevitably fails you and you fall prey to the rising panic, just remember the age-old saying that has saved Dark Souls players for a decade.
Get good.
Just press R1. Never stop pressing
get
R1. Just
good.
R1 your way to victory. And with the first Lord Soul collected, it's time for Tonyland. God, I hate this place. Thankfully, I have spells that help deal with all the massive crowds of Tonys loitering all over the place. But still, the place sucks. But it does lead to the Smoldering Lake, which has all the large Titanite one could ever want, which means our candle is now at +6. I also went out of my way to kill Horus. That way Henri will push forward in their questline. I can't use Henri's sword, but I can get something that might prove useful later from their journey. But that's not until later. For now, we've got the old Demon King to deal with. That said, there's not much to deal with here. The old Demon King is a threat in melee range, but his ranged attacks are pretty lacking, which means all I have to do is play keep away and pepper away with my Baja Blast. Easy game for babies. Which means it's time for another easy boss. Molder. I get bad vibes right now. Right. Come on, you rickety old piece of shit. Let's dance. Okay, just need to get to the bracelets, and then we can... What just happened? Okay, let's try that again. Bracelet number 1, bracelet number 2, and bracelet number... No. I kid you not. I have never died this many times to Wolnir before. Apparently, I just really love sucking in those poisonous fumes. Good for the lungs, good for the soul. And every time I don't die by self-inflicted asphyxiation, Wolnir is more than happy to provide. Then, after 10 minutes of chuggle struggling, it's over. I did nothing different, I made no changes in strategy, Tony just got tired of fighting me and decided to let me through. Cool. But hey, at least we made it to Irithyll, which means it's time to upgrade our build. I tell Grey Rat about the North Pole, and invite him to loot the hell out of it, listen to Henri wax poetic about Horus, who I definitely didn't murder, then give Horus his death purpose by collecting what I came for. Hey, could you just... Yeah, thanks. There we are. Chameleon. The spell that turns you invisible and... Wait, no, that's Hidden Body. What the heck did I want this for? Hey, Henri. Horus died for nothing. Okay, see you later, bye. I grab the magic clutch ring after showing it has 0 clutch of my own, then equip that sucker immediately, because being a glass cannon isn't a strategy, it's a way of life. And so, with our build starting to reach peak levels of mediocre damage, it's time for the Pontiff. How bad could it be? Oh good, he dodges attacks. Great. More importantly though, I have the same problem with Pontiff that I do with the second phase of the Abyss Watchers. His attacks come out so fast that there's 0 time to react, and even if you do dodge an attack, his combos are so quick that his next attack is guaranteed to catch you if you haven't dodged out of range. This man loves his lore walks. Takes one every morning with his dog, who I may or may not have killed earlier. But with a bit more long-range plinking, we get to phase 2, where Pontiff takes a quick breather, then summons his shadow self, who is weirdly weak to soul arrows. Food for thought. Might have to take advantage of that when I'm not being cut in half by magic. So, turns out that wasn't a fluke. Shadow Pontiff is in fact weirdly weak to magic, and can be knocked out with 2 greatsword swings if you get into range fast enough. Of course, you then have to get out of range, but hey, it's all coming together. Just gotta let it cook a little longer. Yep. Any minute now. Any minute now. Okay, new plan. Instead of staring the strategy down, maybe it's like boiling water. It never boils when you're looking at it. You gotta look away for a minute first. Oh hey look, it's my second channel where I do casual live streams of games and sometimes give sneak peeks of upcoming challenge runs. What a cool— aha! Gotcha! As if I would ever promote my own content. But yeah, we already had all the pieces. We just needed to get better at putting them all together. A little great sorting whenever Pontiff tries to duplicate, a healthy bit of panic when we accidentally failed in that task, then add a dash of plink plink plonk, and there you go. Pontiff Souffle. Perfect for any office birthday party or funeral. And with Pontiff, Grey Rat is back in town, which means the Scholar's Candlestick is now on the menu. This thing is— what's the word? Oh, right. Terrible. This thing is terrible. It has the same problem the Cleric Candle had, where it requires faith for some stupid reason, despite being a Scholar's Candlestick. Literally just a dagger. No magic damage, no intelligence scaling, nothing. Look, it doesn't even have the sidestep ability. It has guiding light, just like my other candle. Oh, another name? Useless garbage. But don't you worry. When put in the left hand, it can't even parry. All it can do is a poor excuse for a block, and a quick attack that does little to no damage. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, it cannot in fact be buffed by magic weapon. You wanted a sharp candle? You got a sharp candle. It does have one redeeming quality though. As hinted by the description, if you have this in your offhand, any spells you cast will be strengthened by 10 to 12.5%. So you've got that going for you. Just don't try to use it for literally anything else. But with that added to our repertoire, we've got more Lord Souls to collect. I grabbed some more loose large Titanite to upgrade the dagger, then snap up the Easter's Ashes so I can buy large shards for Firelink Shrine, which means we essentially have +6 weapons now. Then, after fighting something big, mean, and ugly, it's time for Aldrich / Gwendolyn. Let's do this. Boy, I sure hope the boss that—
Alright, stay here. Look pretty.
Disconnected.
that. That's not what I want to be fucking carrying around with me. I was able to get 7 of those. 1 ounce each. Yeah.
Off.
You outside of Holmes. Going Holmes High School. Been there, done that. Quite a bit, actually.
Magic the entire fight isn't resistant to magic damage. Oh good, they are! Yeah, that's fine. It's not like I was at 90% HP or anything. Just have my suffering. I don't even care. And before you yell at me, yes, I've been putting some points into health. Not enough, clearly, but some. Alright, well, let's try this again. Wait, was that Henri? Oh hell yeah, we can't leave a fellow Sunbro hanging. I actually completely forgot that you can get summoned into enemies in the world and help them fight bosses in this game. It's honestly a nice touch to remind you that you're not alone. Really helps round out the world, you know? It got a little hairy at the end there, but between Henri tanking and me giving emotional support, Aldrich goes down. I still have to fight Aldrich in my own world, and I'll have to do it alone, but it's not like this fight went down to the wire or anything. I'll be fine. God damn it, Lemon, you had one job. All you had to do was press R1, and you pressed R2. How did you? So, Aldrich, this fight is about knowing what you can and can't get away with. Because both my melee and magic attacks aren't anything special for this boss, it's all chip damage. Sometimes you're a bit too far away, and it's best to fire a soul arrow. Other times you're so close to them that you can swing your sword randomly and still hit them. Just use your brain. As always, whenever Aldrich decides to blot out the sun with their Gwendolyn arrows, just run below the arch at the back of the room, and you'll be safe. So long as you dodge any incoming magic attacks while you wait it out. In fact, maybe just dodge all the incoming magic attacks throughout the fight. Just a thought. Huh. It's almost like having 2 pieces of equipment that amplify all the magic damage I take is a bad idea or something. Nah, that can't be right. Clearly this boss is just poorly designed. Okay, fine, I'll take off the crown of dusk and the magic clutch ring. I'm not looking forward to how much my DPS is going to suffer. Unless Pestilent Mist is completely unaffected by buffs of any kind. If that were the case, our build could be as broken or as fine-tuned as we like, and the damage would remain the same. Okay, I can work with this. Let's talk about the Mist. This spell is both the bane and boon of my existence. It's extremely short range, can cause self-inflicted damage if you aren't careful, and is only effective if your target doesn't leave the mist. However, it also doesn't care about enemy defense, does damage based on enemies' max HP rather than any of the player's stats, and is extremely fire and forget, which lets you focus on survival while your enemy focuses on the opposite. And if used with just the right amount of Great Soul Arrow on the side, it's the recipe to success. That's another Lord Soul down. Only 2 more to go. not that impressive compared to what it could be and what I've already got going on. Speaking of unimpressive, let's kill Yorm. 3 quick blasts to the head will knock Yorm onto the ground, which then opens him up for some heavy damage from either spells or sword. You can even perform a riposte, which does a pretty significant amount of damage as well. Yorm has a phase 2, where he gets all embered up, but aside from a few graphical changes, there's really not much more to this fight than what we've already seen. Just blast and stab until it is done. And done it does, in fact, become. First try Yorm with nothing more than Great Soul Arrow and a mediocre sword. Just further proof that every giant can be felled. But with Yorm dead, we've got one more Lord Soul to collect. Unfortunately, we've got a few side bosses to deal with along the way. First up is the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. She hits pretty hard and can be difficult to wrap your head around with her 3-4 attack timing, but unfortunately for her, this fight is one of my favorites. And I also used to play a lot of R&B and waltzes back in the day, so 3-4 feels more at home to me than 4-4 does. That sentence was for all the band nerds in the audience today. Keep at it, you crazy kids. Remember, the audience doesn't come for the sports, they come for the band. Oh, hey, the dancer's dead. I suddenly remember that Orbeck exists, and give him the scroll I found earlier, which lets me learn homing Soul Mass and Soul Spear. If these are anything like Dark Souls 1, this is going to be a huge boost to my damage. I mean, it is, but not exactly what I was hoping for. The damage is high, but so is the mana cost. Definitely burns the candle at both ends. Probably not worth the chuggle struggle in the middle of the boss fight. Speaking of boss fights, it's Pseudo-Dragon time. Osiris here is another boss that uses magic, and therefore is magic defense heavy. So that's fun. He also becomes an absolute lunatic in phase 2. So yeah, good vibes ahead. I tried a few different strategies here to see if we could unbreak this particular wall, but I didn't have much luck. Dark spells did less than my sword combos, and for reasons I don't fully understand, my Great Heavy Soul Arrow does almost the exact same amount as my Soul Spear, for a fraction of the cost. Does anyone remember when Dark Souls didn't balance around PvP metas? I remember when Dark Souls didn't balance around PvP metas. Anywho, that brick wall is a bit too solid for my build at the moment, so let's do something else. I grab a few Titanite chunks from around Lothric Castle, then put Chameleon to good use.
Steak!
This is Rigid Serpent. I've done the perfect disguise to fool the guards. They'll never see me coming.
They'll never see me coming.
Realize those dragons can see heat signatures, right? Sounds like Lothric propaganda to me. I'm going in.
I'm going in.
CHQ. Nothing to. Oh god, it burns. Who could have predicted this? Clearly, this is the end for Rigid. Oh, hey, we're fine. The perfect plan. Anyhow, time for the next boss. Ornstein 3.0. Everyone has that one boss that always gives them trouble. With a Dragonslayer armor's giant shield and hard-hitting Bardiche moveset, I can fully understand why this guy would be at the top of some people's hit lists. But ever since the Firebomb run, this guy has been one of the easiest fights for me. Maybe I just figured out the timing, or maybe it's the fact that you can simply run away from 90% of his attacks and be perfectly fine. But either way, that's the Dragonslayer armor defeated on the first try. Next, I make my way through the library, accidentally finding a hidden wall, and oh, would you look at that? It's a fire whip. Dude, you guys think that sexy party Sawyer thinks about me when he's off adventuring? What? It's not like I like him or anything. Shut up! Find the crystal scroll, which lets Orbeck teach me crystal soul spear, crystal magic weapon, and homing crystal soul mass. But honestly, I don't think we need them. Crystal soul spear costs over 40 mana to cast, and unless it does monstrous amounts of damage, it's probably in our best economic interest to just keep using Great Soul Arrow. But I know you want to see it for yourself, so here, let me show you how bad crystal. There, see? Terrible spell. Do not use. Okay, how about a run where we don't get slapped by enemies from outside the fog wall? Oh lord, that's only like 50 extra damage. The same goes for homing crystal soul mass too. And after 4 casts, I'm completely out of mana. Not exactly worth it when 4 quick swings of my sword can get the same result. And yeah, Soul Arrow isn't exactly kicking ass and taking names, but at least it's reliable and doesn't leave me scrambling between my Estus flasks mid-fight. In fact, I'd argue we would have had Osiris that time if we hadn't died of secondhand embarrassment right there. Okay, let me show you how it's done. This is a stupid game. Alright, for real this time. I can finally move on. Okay, what the f- Then, after a little clambering around on rooftops and riding of elevators, I find the secret Titanite slab at the bottom of the elevator shaft, upgrade my primary candlestick to maximum level, then take on the final Lord Soul, the Twin Princes. I know I've been complaining about the low damage this entire run, but is it actually low damage? No, seriously, please let me know in the comments. I've been playing games wrong for so long that I no longer know what a normal playthrough looks like. Regardless of your answer, Lorien goes down with 0 issues, which means it's time for Phase 2, Twin Prince Boogaloo. It goes well. No biggie, though. Like every boss fought with limitations, we just need to figure out the strategy. Once we've got it, a few rounds of practice should be all we need to finish the fight. The first phase is simple enough. Just stay in the fog door and blast Lorien with soul arrows while he lore crawls towards you. And once Lorien gets too close for comfort, just keep rolling to his weak side and wail on him with the candlestick whenever you have the stamina to spare. As for Phase 2, it's less about speed and more about timing. Get your hits in where you can, but more importantly, keep enough stamina and free time to dodge incoming attacks. That way, when you finally chip Lorien back down to the ground, you can give both princes something to chew on while Lorien revives.
Call from 332-266-3497. Do you want to answer?
Excellent Mist is actually extremely effective here, since the brothers are slow so long as they don't teleport, and the mist hurts both brothers simultaneously. The return on mana investment is no slouch either, doing upwards of 1200 damage if you position it right. And with enough patience,
sorry, it's probably the people.
The princes go down with a few Estus left to spare.
It's probably the people that are getting the Doordash, but I don't answer calls when I'm.
Why stop there when we can torment the DLC bosses with my stupid, terrible build? Yeah. The DLCs are dialed up to 14. When it comes to Dark Souls DLCs, they're all incredibly unique, but regardless of game, they all have two things in common: impossible defense increases and bloated health pools. If you don't have an optimized, fully complete build by the time you reach a Dark Souls DLC, you best turn right back around and get until you do.
I do not answer calls on
This is our fully complete build. Oh, sure, we might pick up a +3 ring or 2 by the end, but I'm pretty sure we're at the end of our road.
At least for
But enough
customers.
calculus.
It's too
We've got 2 bosses
distracting.
in the Painted World DLC to meet, starting with Sister
If
Frida
it's like
and Father Ariandel. Normally, this fight
my
is rather
family,
difficult, but for
and they're
reasons I
just,
can't discuss
you know,
right now, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I have gotten
ask
very
me
good
something,
at the
I don't
Sister
have to
Frida
put
fight,
much focus in
which
that,
means
but
an
if
easy
I have to
clear
focus
phase
on
1.
somebody, like,
Immediate ego
I
check in
don't,
phase 2,
no, it's
and
too
another
much.
agonizing hour of being repeatedly pounded into the dirt before giving up and attempting boss number 2. The champion Grave Tender and his pet wolves plural. Grave Tender himself hits very hard and tends to play offense and defense in equal measure, but a swift kick to the shield is enough to break his posture, which means that ripostes are simple enough to perform. But then the tricky part, adding Civ 3.0 into the mix. The Great Wolf can actually be fought 2 separate times outside of the arena, once in the first snowfield and a second time on a rising hill by the sniper tower. Meet her in both encounters, and she allegedly will have less health when it comes to the boss fight itself. And to my brain's credit, this is actually true. It's just not nearly as helpful as I remember it being. But because the Grave Tender is content with floor walking through Phase 2, I decided it was worth my time to focus fire on the wolf. And once she was down, all that was left was her master. He left a lot to be desired. 1 boss down, 1 to go. Oh yeah, the Valor Heart is a weapon. God, I may not enjoy the ebb and flow of this game, but it had some great weapons. So many unique fighting styles and weapon arts. Anyway, back to Pain and Suffering. Sister Frida's first phase isn't too bad. You just have to know when to hit and when to run. And Phase 2 isn't terrible either, so long as I actually pay attention to the arena around me. Father Ariandel is pretty weak to magic attacks.
Probably
and managing
gonna
Sister
rain
Frida by
on
baiting her
looks like
attacks
it.
isn't a problem either. So long as I make sure she doesn't heal mid-fight, we should have more than enough magic to make it to Phase 3 relatively unscathed. And there you go, Phase 2 complete, which means we have 1 more to go. And this is where I tend to fall apart. Thankfully, I know the ultra-secret technique. Behold, my runaway screaming jutsu! 30% of the time, it works every time. Patent pending, batteries not included. Please keep out of reach of pets and children. But despite running low on Baja Blast and being completely dry on Sunlight, things are actually looking good. The damage is solid enough, and so long as I time my attacks so that she can't dodge them, it all comes down to greed. Or 1 to victory. This is the way. But with 1 DLC down, we've got 1 more to go. The Ringed City. Man, it's been a hot minute since I've actually played this one. What's it been? 2 years? It's such an atmospheric DLC. I don't know why, but oh right, now I remember. Between getting sucked into the ground by graboids, God herself trying to smite me from the heavens, and the poorly distinguished route you're supposed to take, this DLC was kinda annoying. I shit you not, I got lost in this tree section for half an hour. Half an hour of what is essentially the Great Hollow, but the Basilisks all have sniper rifles, and if you dare hide behind cover, they break out the tear gas. Good times had by all. But after going out of my way to vindictively murder whatever the hell these things are supposed to be, I finally figured out where I was supposed to go. And I kinda wish I hadn't. correct answer for this problem. Pestle and mist. Sure, the bosses tend to leave the mist prematurely, but it ignores enemy defense.
Hey there.
Yeah, you down there by like the football field and stuff?
Yeah, I just drove into the Circle parking lot. I used to deliver here all the time for Domino's. Normally, I just ran up to the office area. Where do you want to meet at?
I'm right over here in the parking lot right by the school, but if you were down there by the field, I could just walk down the steps and meet you. But if you want to just meet over here by the, the gazebo is here, right by the stadium.
Gazebo.
Like the parking lot and all that.
Yeah, let me just, yeah, I think I'm by the tennis field right now. The tennis court, is that a tennis court there? Let me see.
Football field.
Is that all that is, just a straight football field?
Yeah. You see like a scoreboard and stuff.
Gotcha, yeah, let me go ahead and park, and I will grab the goods and meet you out here.
Alright, I'll go down the steps, that's fine. I'll meet you right there. I hope it's not locked, because if it's locked, you might have to come around.
Oh.
You might have a key for it.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm walking that right now. Hold on. Oh, man, this is a week, dude.
Yeah, sorry, that's such a rough drop off.
This ain't you, man. You're doing me a damn deed right now.
Yeah, let me go ahead and grab this stuff here.
Our gates are locked.
If I was clean, I would die. If I was clean, I would die.
Has a low mana cost and can hit both enemies at the same time. That's a win-win-win in my book. And as an added bonus, when there's only one demon left, you can actually
So now I know
more or
when you're
less of the
talking
mist
about the football
simply by
field,
walking
it's
in a big
down that
circle.
way.
Finally, a
Makes
nice
sense.
easy win. I feel like we haven't had enough of those in this run. Oh yeah, he has a second phase. Because of course he does. Well, this isn't an anime. I'm not waiting politely while you finish your transformation. Have some free mist on the house. Now for those that don't know, this fight is exactly like Hortstein and Smo, in that the second phase is different depending on which demon you killed first. There's the super crazy fireballs everywhere version, or the firing my laser version. Most of the internet seems to agree that the fireball version is the harder of the two, due to the boss using attacks that make the entire arena into a bullet hell. So naturally, that's the version I ended up with. But don't worry, we just have to kill the other demon first this go around to get the easier fight. Was this the right demon? I honestly can't remember. Yep, that was the right one. Okay, now we just need to not die and we can... Well, alright, third time's the charm. No, seriously, which demon is it again? These fights take so long that I can't remember which one I killed first last time. And it's not like we have two different character models to help differentiate. One's just slightly darker red than the other, which is super helpful and good, considering you can easily compare the two since they definitely don't lose their colors in the middle of the fight. I know I'm making a mountain out of a molehill here, and can just look up the correct health bar I'm supposed to be emptying, but this kind of bad game design just irks me. Not only is it difficult to tell which boss I'm fighting at any given moment due to the aforementioned problems, but even when I do get to phase 2, the boss is so beefed up that I usually don't last long enough to see its signature moves. So I can't even be sure I picked the right demon in phase 1.
Don't know what to do.
In the long run, it's not the end of the world. I guess I just expect more from Dark Souls at this point. This is the third game of the series, and they already got it right on the first attempt. How they managed to fuck it up on the third pass, I'll never know. In any case, let's come up with a way to remember which demon is the correct demon to kill last. That way we never have this problem again. How about if you kill the demon in pain, then pain is all you'll get.
I'm gonna wait
why not?
10 more
That's the best
seconds.
I can come up with after 2 straight hours of attempts
I'm
on this
going
boss
right,
anyway.
goddammit.
I'm sure the internet has a much better way of remembering the difference between the two. So if you've got some sort of mnemonic device or rhyme you like to use, please let me know, because I don't want to do this again. Anyway, after another hour of attempts, I finally realized which demon to kill in which order, and got to the second phase enough times to actually learn the boss's moveset.
Of
and
course,
with that,
because
we can finally move on. And after a quick ride
that's
for the
what
Cheese Demon
happens.
Cartel, it's time for the final area, Pink City proper. This area is full of ghost archers and angry giants, but don't worry, I know just how to avoid them. And after sprinting past all kinds of bullshit that I don't even want to give the time of day, I give Medea a light misting of pestilence, followed by a quick root canal, and there you go. Giant Abyss Dragon handled with ease. But that was just me handling the Giant Abyss Dragon. I didn't say anything about finishing it off. Medea is weird. His hitboxes are kind of wonky when you're up close and personal, so your best bet is to hurt. Close range is your best option, because he has a hard time. So, yeah. In case it wasn't obvious, there's no easy solution to this boss fight. Pestilent Mist does a better job than you'd expect, since Medea actually doesn't move all that much aside from his rush attacks, but setting it up in such a way that it's actually effective can be difficult, especially if Medea decides he doesn't want to play today. Hope you're ready for another brick wall, because apparently that's all that's left in this run. The worst part is, there's nothing you can really do either. Our build is complete, and all the important stats are at their soft caps. At this point, the only path left is to get good. Medea explodes when he enters phase 2, by the way, just in case you didn't know. Weirdly, the second phase felt easier than the first, probably because he has several attacks that anchor him to one spot, making Pestilent Mist much more effective. And, after roughly an hour or so of attempts, it's over. Got good, good got it. Moving right along. On to the best boss of the entire game. Half-Light, Spear of the Church. That was sarcasm, by the way. Well, his buddies aren't any real issue. All dressed up and zero poise. But Half-Light is a bit of a different story. He's not incredibly intelligent, so convincing him to stand in the mist isn't overly difficult. But he does have some long-range attacks to counter our gentle assault. Oh, and then there's this thing. Is this a moveset in Elden Ring? I feel like this is a moveset in Elden Ring. But don't worry. Turns out, Half-Light follows the glass cannon methodology just like myself. Which means we just need to get a few lucky hits, and this fight is over. Is what I would say if that damn painted guardian did keep respawning. How many times I gotta teach you this lesson, old man? Oh, good, you can heal each other. That's fun. Well, you know what they say. Teamwork makes the dream work. But that's what they say. You know what I say? There's no I in team. There's no you in team either. And if I'm not on a team and you're not on a team, no one's on the goddamn team. The team sucks. But with Half-Life's hopes of synergy dashed against the literal rocks, it's time for some accidental property damage. Hey Miyazaki, remember how the trailers for Dark Souls 3 kept saying all will be revealed? Just one question. What? And if you've got time for a follow-up question, huh? Seriously though, when those trailers came out, I was so excited. I had so many questions left over since Dark Souls 2. So when Dark Souls 3 brought more questions than answers, it was a bit of a disappointment. That was a forgotten pygmy, by the way, just in case you weren't confused enough already. But enough about shattered lore dreams and confused plot lines. It's time for the final boss of the DLC, Gale.
Big time.
And I know what you're thinking. This is the part where I get stuck, monologue a bit, and maybe even pull out a musical montage of deaths and near misses, right? Well, surprisingly no. Don't get me wrong, our boy Gale here lives up to his final boss.
I've never really put so many hours into anything in my whole life as what I'm doing now, and that's because I'm trying to set my life up for success with my fiance. I'm trying to set her life up too. And I just keep getting fucking knocked back down. I'm tired of it. Every fucking time, man. Every time I get into a relationship, I build, they find out that they don't fucking like me for some reason, and they throw me out to the fucking dust again, and I have to rebuild, because they've taken all the money that I fucking accumulated and put into their house or their fucking shit, and they sell it, and they make all the fucking money off of it. What do I get? A fucking debt-ridden bank account and having to rent over again and have no equity, nothing. Just get fucked, man.
Well, I guess it's time for the
never.
last boss of the Obi Fletch. I forgot Dragonland.
I'm just kind of pissed right now.
Yeah. So, you know how this boss used to be the hardest thing in the game? Yeah, no, definitely not the case anymore. First phase dead in less than 5 casts.
So now I'm doing it all over
Surely
again.
The nameless king himself is still formidable, right? There's hundreds of hours of video of people just getting wrecked by him. It's not like oh, wait, he's easy now. I'm not sure what happened, but somewhere along the line, this boss became one of the easiest bosses in the game. I'm not even using magic anymore. I'm just hitting him in the face repeatedly. I feel like there's a name for this. Experience? Nah, that's not catchy enough. Let's call it the FromSoft effect. As someone who's been enjoying FromSoft games for over a decade now, it always felt like FromSoft has been competing against its players. With every new entry, bosses get more movesets, more health, and more delayed attacks. In response, the player base gets good. They learn. They adapt. They overcome. And then another game comes out, and the race starts anew. The only question is, how far can we go? Unfortunately, I don't have an answer to that particular question just yet. But soon. Soon I will. But until then, we've got one last boss to go. The Soul of Cinder. Culmination of every player and every build to ever link the fire. Easily smashed against the shattered rocks around him. Not even remotely comparable to the difficulties we've faced up to this point. And even his second phase, where Gwyn, the true Lord of Cinder, makes an appearance, it's still not enough. Because while nothing but cinders may remain of the original fire, I brought a candle. And so, the last remaining vestige of the flames dwindling, there's only one thing left to do. The first flame is small and fragile. For too long has it borne the burden of keeping this world lit. The age of the first flame is over. The age of the 2 candles has only just begun.
That's how I fucking feel, man. I don't mind helping out my life, my partner, and all this kind of stuff. I don't mind working towards it. I expect to.
Well,
I
anyway,
just expect to be able to get the same help in the end, or it to get a little bit fucking easier. Like,
Really appreciate
it is not fucking easy right now, man. This is some bullshit. How much work you gotta do and fucking how little you get ahead. Things you want, you never get anymore. I want to be able to take my fucking fiance out on a date every weekend. Hell, every other weekend. Hell, once a fucking month would be crazy. That would be great, but I can't. I'd stay in the fucking house. I have to eat ramen fucking bologna. and work thrice as hard. I don't care who the fucking president is right now. I don't care who it's gonna be. It's not gonna fucking change until we, as fucking workers, revolt up and say this bullshit can't fucking ride anymore. The billionaires aren't allowed to be billionaires anymore. You want a couple $100 million? I still don't like that, but fucking take it. But the rest of that fucking money is going towards a better cause, not this bullshit. It's so frustrating. Because I put my soul into this fucking shit for stuff that I don't even fucking like. Why? Because I need to support my fucking family. And there are billions of me like me, just like me, fucking doing the same goddamn thing, getting no fucking work, and while just tens of people at the top get sucked off by all these assholes. Right, stay back. god, if I don't get fucking $10 off this, I'm gonna be extremely pissed. Just saying. And dash. Alright, so I'm officially done. 300 in there now. Yeah, see, that makes my heart warm. Get out of there. It would have been gonna get it. They were cute regardless, so I just couldn't steal from those fucking kids. I knew it was kids. They got the. I'm not happy. That right there made me happy. See, other unfortunate assholes that get the food fucking deserve it. But them, they deserve for me to get it to them faster. And she tipped. Other people don't deserve that shit at all. And I hate this corner. I hate coming up here. But yeah, this is good. Actually, delivering to kids that need food. I hate delivering these fucking cookies across town. To who? To a fucking moron that doesn't need it. Yeah, that's. Get you stopping. I'm fucking hungry. Take me home. Come on, I get it. And dash. Alright. I want to do my offer. I don't want to do here. Those deliveries make me feel better about doing this stuff. But other things, they don't deserve to get it. They do not deserve to get it. Let's see. Alright, let's go there. nobody joined anyway. I'm gonna make $6 off this, so I didn't even tell you any of my stuff at any point because it doesn't fucking matter. Nobody's gonna watch. So thanks for joining. Bye.